All right, well, thank you all for joining. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Dan Louise. I'm with Underline, and Underline is the conference platform that will be used to host the virtual World Seabird Conference this year. I'm going to just pass it over to Michelle really quick just to do a little intro, and then I will get started with the session.
So thank you everybody for being here today. So this, as a reminder, is a training session for poster presenters. So what we're going to do today is go through both the Underline platform, where your poster is going to be static, and a space where people can ask questions, and then also in the GatherTown environment, which is more of a traditional virtual poster hall where people will be able to come up to your poster and ask you questions face to face. So with that, if you have any questions at all during the session, please feel free to enter them into the chat, which is on the right-hand side. There's a little kind of chat bubble if you are unfamiliar with using the Google Meets environment. So you can write those into the chat. You can also interrupt us, raise your hand, ask a question verbally if you have any questions. At the end, there's lots of time for further questions if you have additional ones. And if you have anything that that comes up after we have this session, please feel free to reach out to me via email and we can answer your questions that way as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Dan, who's going to walk us through the platform.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm going to share my screen real quick here. Okay, so you should all be seeing my screen. This is the World Seabird Conference homepage here on Underline. You will get access to this site probably either tomorrow or Friday, early Friday. The access emails will be going out to everybody, and you'll get one of two different types of emails. If you have an Underline account, if you've been on Underline before and attended a conference before, you'll get an email that says that you have access to this conference and you just need to go in, click the button and you'll get in. If you've never been on Underline before, you don't have an account with us, you'll get an email asking to confirm your account. Essentially, all that means is that you need to put in a password of your choosing, and then you'll be given access to the site. The emails will be going to the emails that you registered with, so be on the lookout for that. Sometimes they go into your spam folder, depending on your organization that you're with. It may block them or something. Just be on the lookout for them either tomorrow or Friday. So this is the main reception page. This is the home page. It has a couple different parts I want to show you here. I'm going to go through the entire site real quick, show you a little bit about what's going on the Seabird site, and then go into how you're going to do your poster presenting, the live poster sessions. It's pretty simple, but it's good training just to show you around. So the main area here in the center has a welcome email from the program chairs. See Pat's here. We have some links to our sponsors and funders here. They have some of them have added some content to the site so that you can go in and find out a little bit more about them. So that's here on the main page. On the right-hand side, we have our announcements area. This is where we'll post various announcements throughout the conference. So you can go in and see what's going on. Up in the top right corner, this is where the profile area is for yourself. You can go in here and you can change things about yourself. If you want to add a new picture or change your role, your name, any kind of thing like that, you can do that here in the profile page. This little bell icon is a notification. So you as poster presenters, you've all submitted posters to Underline, and the posters will be living on the Underline site in an on-demand way so that people can view them before the conference, before the live sessions, after the live sessions. And anytime they comment on your poster or they ask a question on your poster, I'll show you how that's done in a second. You'll get a notification when you're on the Underline platform. So if you're on Underline, you'll see that this will turn pink with a number of questions. You can come in here, click on it, and go right into your poster, and you can answer those questions right there. And on the left-hand side, this is the most important part of this site. It's the navigation bar. This is how you're going to move around the site. So I'm going to go through each one of these tabs, show you what can be done here and how they work, and then we'll go into how the poster presenting is going to actually take place. So the schedule tab, this is a list, a schedule that shows up. It's sorted by day and also by time, and you can also sort by track. So there's a couple different functionalities on this page. So if you click on the day, you'll see all the different sessions that are on that particular day. And if you look at the times, you'll see what times they're at. Just so you know that these times and these days all are system generated, and they come based, they'll show up based on your local time zone. So right now, everything here is showing up in my local time zone. I'm here in the New York time zone, Eastern Daylight Time. So everything is showing up in that time zone. If you're in another part of the world, if you're in Australia, it's going to show up whatever Australia is, maybe 12 hours earlier. So everything's going to show up in your local time zone. It's going to grab it from your computer clock. It's going to post it in your local time zone. Within the sessions, you'll see that we have everything listed in the actual UTC time. On this page, you can also sort by tracks, as I mentioned. So if you wanted to see all the symposias that are happening on that day, you just click on that and you'll see them. They'll filter out all the other events that are going on, and you'll just see symposiums. If you wanted to just see individual papers, you can do it that way. Or if you wanted to see the entire schedule, just click on all tracks. As you hover over, you'll see that a pop-up comes up. Those are the pre-recorded talks and posters that are actually loaded within each session. You'll see that the posters, even though there's 4 live poster sessions occurring, we've sorted them by topical area. So when you click in on a session, you'll see the session time is here, the session date. As I mentioned, it's in UTC, and you'll see the pre-recorded content that's been submitted. If you click on one of them, you can watch the video, you can look at the abstract, and as I mentioned, there's a Q&A panel here on the right-hand side, and you can type in questions for that author. You can also click on the author's name, and a bio will show up. Back to the schedule real quick. How this may not, you may want to attend a session or two, or you may be a part of a session. The sessions are all running within Zoom. So when you click into a session, you'll see that there's a Zoom room button. This is where you'll click to get into that live session during those times. And the videos will be played down during those sessions, and you'll have opportunities to ask questions to the presenters during those sessions. One other functionality of the schedule is that, as you can see, as you hover over, there's a little calendar icon that shows up when you hover over a particular session. If there's a session that you want to make sure that you don't miss and you want to load it into your local calendar, if you click on that calendar icon, you'll get some options to download a file. That file then you can import into your local calendar on your computer. That's the schedule. When you click on the main stage button, this is where we'll have a couple of main stage talks. There's not many for this conference. There's 2 closing sessions that will occur in this on this panel. It's more of a Zoom webinar type environment where you'll just be watching like on a TV screen, and the interaction with the presenters is through the Q&A panel here. So it's a text-based chat that you can communicate with the presenters. The sessions tab. Now this is similar to the schedule. But I like to say it's more of an exploded view of the schedule. So you don't actually have to click in to each one of the sessions to see what's going on. So everything is listed on this schedule page. on the sessions page. So you can just keep scrolling down. Everything's listed in date order. You just keep scrolling down. More and more sessions are going to pop up as they, and you can see all the different talks that are in each one of the sessions. One of the other functionalities of this page, you can also sort by the there's a drop down here that you can go directly to a session if you know that you want to get into, you want to see your poster that's in, the poster sessions down here. I got to list them actually. So let's say you want to go right into here. You'll see that this will take you right into these sessions. So if you want to go to Symposium 6, you click on Symposium 6, it'll take you right into that symposium. If you want to search on any of the pre-recorded content that is loaded on the site, if you're looking for a particular author, if you're looking for a particular keyword for all the, let's say you type in poly, all talks that have poly within them and within their titles will show up on this page. So you can search and find that here. You can also do looking for a particular author. If I type in Robbins, you'll see that Alex Robbins talks comes up. So that's the functionality of the sessions page. So you can actually do a little bit more than just in the schedule. The posters tab, now this is why they didn't show up in that other link. The posters will show up on this page. So this is where the posters live on demand here on the underlined site. As I mentioned, it's similar to the sessions page. They're just, the poster sessions are all listed, broken out by topical area. And you can scroll down and see all the posters that are in each one of the sessions here. You can also, as in the sessions page, you can also just go to the drop down. You know that you're in poster session 1, Atlantic Physiology. Go right into it. You'll see the posters that are for this particular session. Just like in the sessions page, you can search the posters for keywords within the title, or even the author's name. So if I'm looking for Collins, you'll see Sydney Collins' talk comes up. When you click on a poster on the underlying site, it'll open up in a page like this. The PDF of the poster will show up. You have the ability to zoom in and out on that poster. View the abstract, as well as ask questions. So the attendees will ask questions here. This is where you'll get notified that somebody's asked a question on your particular poster, and then you can come back into here and you can answer the question right in the same chat panel. Just like with the videos, you have the ability to click on the author's name and their bio will come up as well. Seeing as this is a poster training, does anybody have any questions on the posters tab? Okay, perfect. The Expo tab, this is similar to the reception page. We have links to our images of the logos of the funders and links to our exhibitors and sponsors here. You can go ahead and check them out. Some of them actually have created pages here with some information on their organizations. The lounge page, I'm gonna quickly go through this here, but I'm gonna come back. So the lounge, there's a couple different items here on this tab. We have a link to our GatherTown Lounge. This is where we're going to do our networking and where your posters, the live poster sessions are going to occur. You may have seen, and I'll show you again in a little bit, on the poster sessions tab, each one of your poster sessions had a link to the GatherTown. So this is where you can also get into that GatherTown Lounge. I'll go through that in a second. You have a link to the Twitter account as well as the Slack channel. So you can go ahead and join those and follow here as well. I'll come back to the GatherTown in a second. I just want to show you the help desk. The help desk is where we have various information. If you're having any problems, we have an email address for if you have any questions regarding the conference itself. If you have issues with the underlying site, you can either click this email address or click the request a meeting button. The request a meeting button will open up a pop-up, put your name, email address, and a brief message. This will send an email to our support mailbox, and we'll get back to you right away. We'll have an attendee walkthrough video on here that's coming soon. It's essentially what I'm giving you right now, a tour of the site and showing you what can be done for the attendees. We have your training video. This training video that we're creating right now will be posted here. So if you need to come back and view that, we'll have that on here. We have the session chair training video on here. We have a document on supported browsers and limitations, as well as a document on how to use GatherTown. I'm just going to really quick talk about supported browsers and limitations. Underlying site does support all browsers. We do recommend that if you do have the ability to use either Google Chrome or Firefox, that's where you're going to have the best experience. So if you're having an issue with the site, let's say the navigation bar isn't showing up, because I know that happens in certain versions of Safari. If you can switch to either Google Chrome or Firefox and it starts to work, that means that it was just a problem with that particular browser. So the first thing to check is the browser. So if you're having an issue, see if you can use Chrome or Firefox, or change to Edge or a different browser and see if that works there. If you're still having issues, then you can obviously click on the email address or the request a meeting button to contact our support team. So back to the lounge. I'm going to go into the lounge, but it's also going to be the portion of this training session that's going to talk about how you're going to present your posters. So you can get into the GatherTown either through this lounge button here or through your poster sessions. As you saw here, when you go through the sessions, each one of the sessions has a link to the GatherTown lounge. So either way you can get in, this is how you'll do it. So once you click on that button, you'll be taken to the World Seabird Conference GatherTown Lounge. This is a separate site outside of the underlying site. It's a different platform. It will open up, it is web-based, and it will open up a new tab within your browser. This site also does recommend Chrome or Firefox as well. So if possible, the easiest thing to do is, if you can, use Chrome or Firefox. Once you're on this page, this initial page, you'll have these options here. You can change your webcam. If you have multiple webcams, you can change your microphone if you have multiple microphones, and speakers as well. If you see the green bar going up and down, that means your microphone is working. If you see your video, that means your webcam is working. On this page, you can also edit your character. So you have the ability to change your body, your clothing, your accessories, shoes, hair, glasses, all that fun stuff. Create your avatar the way you want it to look. And click on here, you'll have an opportunity to put in your name. Once you've done all that, you'll hit finish. Just so you know, the first time you enter into GatherTown, if you've never used GatherTown before, you will get an option to go through a short tutorial as well. So it might be helpful to run through that real quick. It gives you some tips and tricks on what to do and how GatherTown works. If not, you can just then hit join the gathering. Once you hit join the gathering, you'll be taken into the GatherTown Lounge. I'm going to just respawn. So you'll show up here right in this main area. This is the lounge for the World Seabird Conference. You'll see that we have numerous things going on in here. This space is proximity based. So whenever you get close enough to somebody, their video window will pop up here at the top. So you have the ability to move around this space using your arrow keys. So you can use your up and down, side to side. We have various spaces within this lounge. We have some areas for private meetings if you wanted to go and meet with other colleagues or attendees. We have some private spaces there. Some of these bigger private spaces, lounge area will be utilized by our exhibitors and sponsors to hold meetings. So they'll each get one of them here. Up top, we also have a job searching corner where you can go in and post jobs or look for jobs on this whiteboard. So you have the ability to interact with this whiteboard. Interacting in the Gather Town, you'll see that a pop-up comes up and say you can press X to interact with that object. You'll have the ability to post or view jobs that other people have posted here on this whiteboard. A couple of other things. I'm going to bypass the poster areas real quick just because that's where we'll spend the rest of the session. But we have some breakout sessions that'll occur here within this space, as well as a moving abroad session. Looks like he's closed it down for now. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So we have a moving abroad area and a games room. We'll have various sessions with games and I think a scavenger hunt going on as well during the conference. Once again, I'm going to bypass the posters real quick. I just want to show you that there is an additional area down here at the bottom called Networking by the Beach. It's just more space where you can go ahead and meet with other attendees. You can go and talk to the penguins down by the beach if you want. It's just more space to go ahead and meet and have conversations and network with other people. All right. Now to the fun stuff. We're going to get into the posters. So the posters, there's 2 days, depending on where you are in the world. It may end up being on 3 different days or whatever. But there's 2 days. You have an Atlantic and a Pacific session on each day. And so there's 4 different times. You'll see that the Atlantic posters outnumber the Pacific posters. So the Pacific posters are in this bottom right corner, and the Atlantic posters are in the top and on the bottom left. So in order to present your poster, you'll enter into the room where your poster is. So if you know that your poster session, your live poster session that you're a part of is on day 1, you'll enter into the day 1 poster area. And then it's essentially just finding your poster within this space. So to find your poster, you just walk up to it, and just like in a live conference, you'll just stand next to your poster and await attendees to come by and meet up with you. So once you get by your poster, you'll see that as soon as you move next to your poster, it kind of changes color, the view of the space. So that means that you're now in a private space. So the only people that can communicate with you would be the people that are in that private space. When you're next to your poster, they can also view the poster by clicking the X button. Your poster will come up and you'll be able to communicate with them as well. So their video window will show up here at the top. You'll be able to talk to them about the poster. They can ask questions to you. It's almost like a separate Zoom session for each poster. So you have that ability to talk to them. You can have multiple people at the same time looking at it and viewing it and communicating with you all at the same time. You also have the ability to share your screen. So if there's something on the poster that maybe you need to explain a little bit more and you want to show something else, you do have the ability to share your screen. You can share your entire screen, a window or tab. This will allow the people within your private space to see your screen. So they can see whatever you're doing and see whatever you want to show them at that time. So that essentially is how the posters are going to work, how the live poster sessions are going to work. There's a couple of other functionalities of the GatherTown space that you'll probably get during the tutorial or the walkthrough but I can show you real quick. You have the ability to find people within the space. So if there were more people within here, you could look up somebody in this space and find them, or you could message them as well. You click on their name, you'll have the ability to message them. You can also chat with people. If you wanted to chat with somebody, you can click on that here as well. So that's how posters are going to work. Now it's time for all your questions. Unless it's just really simple. And one thing I should mention is that the site, as I mentioned earlier, is browser based. So when you first come in, if you haven't allowed your browser to utilize your camera or your microphone before, it may ask you do you want to allow it? In order for your camera and microphone to work, you need to allow it. So and at any time, if you wanted to be in the space without people seeing you, you could always shut off your camera and microphone down here at the bottom. Sometimes if you're having a problem and you're not sure if you would allow it or not, and it may not be showing up, you could always, I know here in Chrome, I think in a couple of other browsers, you can click up here and this will show you where you allow.
So I can see we have a question from Lauren. So if somebody wanted to discuss a poster outside of a poster session, this space is open for the duration of the conference. So let's say that you're not available for your poster session, or somebody else wasn't available to come ask you a question, and they left you a message on Underline. So you could say to them, hey, let's meet up at my poster tomorrow at 2 p.m. or something, and you can both come into this space. So this GatherTown space, once we kind of send out the email notifications, is open and ready to be used. So you can use it at any time and come in and have your conversations at any time. Best way to get in touch with an author, or if a person has reached out to you specifically, is through the Underline site, so that they can leave a message in there and you can reply directly to them. If you're a poster or presenter who's not able to attend your own session, we recommend that you go into your poster in Underline and leave a message there for people saying, sorry, I'm not able to be at the live poster session. Please contact me via email, or please, I'll be available at such and such a time. So you can write that in the Q&A box of your particular poster. Marco, is there any limitation of access? No, it's based on your email address. So you can't be logged in, excuse me, both from home and from the office. But once you can log in, as long as you're only logging in once, you can be in multiple different locations. Anna Rita, the poster sessions the live session is taking place on GatherTown, but the posters live in both GatherTown and Underline, if that answers your question. But the live session that you've been assigned to is taking place in the GatherTown environment. So that's where we'd like you to be present at your poster.
Yeah, how long are the poster sessions?
It depends on which one you're in.
Okay.
Atlantic is longer than the Pacific because there's more posters.
Right, okay.
I believe Atlantic is just under 2 hours and the Pacific is 1 hour.
Yeah, so you'll be asked to be at your poster if you could for that duration of that session.
Sydney, you would have been emailed already with that information. So it would have been in an email that came from me sometime last week. But if you're unsure, you can just reach out to me via email and I can find it and forward it on to you again.
So a good idea, once you do get access to the site, is to come in this site before your live session and come in and check it out. Make sure that everything can work, your functionality with your camera and your microphone, all is going to work. Find where your poster is so you're not searching the day of. And maybe show up and be present at your poster a couple of minutes before, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes before, so that you're all ready to go once the attendees start coming in.
Nicholas, unfortunately you're not notified when somebody is at your poster. You're welcome to walk around if there's nobody kind of at your poster at that time, but you'll want to keep an eye on your poster area so that you can come back when somebody does arrive. The questions and answers asked at one poster, they're visible within the Underline platform. So if somebody were to ask a question in Underline on your poster, anybody who comes to visit your poster in Underline will see the questions and answers on that session, and that will live for the duration of the conference. People who ask you a question verbally in GatherTown, that's not being recorded, so that doesn't stay in perpetuity. But this Q&A box does.
Volker has 2 posters in the same session.
That did happen for a few people who had multiple posters. What we recommend in that one is that you can leave a message in your underline section saying, I'll be at this poster for the first half and then the second poster for the second half. So Harrison, if somebody's at your poster, you will see them. You'll see that floating head that comes above your poster. So they will be able to ask you a question visually. You'll be able to see them and you'll be able to hear them orally. So it will be as close to a real poster session as you can get. Within the GatherTown environment, people can chat message to you, but we generally find that what's happening is people are asking questions face to face as much as you can within that environment. So it will feel like a conversation back and forth. If anybody has any other questions, you're also welcome to unmute yourself and you can ask them to us verbally. You don't have to type them in if you'd prefer, but you're also welcome to type them in. If there aren't any other questions, you are welcome to depart. We have gone through all of the training for the poster session, our poster presenters at this point. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask them right now, or you can always send them to me as an email and I can respond appropriately. We will be doing another poster training, so if you feel the need to come back again, there is another one at 4 p.m. my time, which is Pacific, so 7 p.m. Eastern time. Depending on where you are in the world, it's probably in the middle of the night for most of you. But you are welcome to come to that one, and then a recording of either this session or the later session will be posted in that help area that we walked through earlier.
And just be on the lookout for that email from Underline.
Yes, and if you have not yet registered, make sure you have. You will not be able to get in and you cannot present unless you are registered.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.